WFNC News Talk 640 AM and now on 103.5 HD2 WFNC.
News Talk 640 WFNC. I have the pleasure on the phone right now. My good friend Greg FISHEL, the official meteorologist and forecasts. Greg, how are you this morning, sir?
Oh, just peachy. I'm still 68 until 4 o'clock, darn it.
Isn't that, see, so you're going to be, for those of you who don't know, today is my son's birthday, but it also just happens to be Greg FISHEL's birthday as well, February 19th, and you will be turning 69 and trying to catch me and Kenny past you already?
Now, I am a higher percentage of your age every year.
Okay.
You know, if you do the math, I'm a higher percentage every year. I'll never catch you.
No, thank God.
I will get close. Yeah, but I'm getting closer every year.
Well, speaking
From
of
a percentage standpoint.
well, speaking of getting closer, but first of all, again, happy birthday to you. Got anything special that's planned for you today?
You know what I'm doing tonight for my birthday? I'm giving a talk to the Central North Carolina chapter of the American Meteorological Society.
Well, that's
my birthday present.
I mean, that sounds like a ton of fun. But you're not going to go eat dinner or anything special like that, or before you go?
Not at the moment. Now, I am told that this group that I'm really looking forward to seeing tonight, that some of them do go out and socialize after the meeting. So maybe I can do something along those lines.
Okay. Now, are you on the speakerphone or you're on hotline?
Oh, I'm actually on the computer phone. Is it okay?
Yeah, that sounds okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Speaking of which, let's get down to some business here real quick. You know, Kenny and I, and Kenny, I'm going to put you up on screen as well here. I guess I will.
I'm sorry, people.
Yeah. Kenny, we were talking about some concerns about the weather shifting and everything. You were reading the almanac. And,
yeah.
What was your concern there?
Well, that the almanac, I was just shocked that the almanac was kind of right. It talks about how we'd have colder weather. I lost my place on it when we were reading it. But anyway, Greg, you heard it, Gilbert, that it nailed it, colder weather. And then it said in the third week of February, unseasonably warm.
Okay. I hadn't actually checked it, but
well, how much of watching the almanac do you do? And how much credibility do you have?
It was put out in 1792, the first publication of the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Right.
But the forecast that's in it that you buy at the stand right now is from the current year, I think. Is that how it works?
Yes, and they do use, some sunspot forecasting, and there was actually a graduate student I knew at Penn State who made three $50 bets with the students, and it was like a collective 50, one person would bet 3 and one would bet 2, and then it would add up to 50. And he had 3 thresholds, and he missed all 3, but only by a day.
Wow!
And this was like 2 weeks in advance. And so, he lost all 3 bets, but he gained a lot of credibility in people's mind by even being able to get it that close, And they do use some of that same idea with these sunspot cycles and so forth. But I have told people, and I've looked at this and verified and so forth, that if you make plans for a wedding in 6 months based on what the Farmer's Almanac says, you deserve to get wet.
Oh, well, okay. I'll put it down.
Well, I guess the other part of that is if you plan a cruise in September in the Atlantic, good luck with that. And because there's a potential for hurricane season. Why would you do that?
Well, exactly. I mean, you're playing Russian roulette, and something you might luck out, and so forth. Did I ever tell you the hurricane story about how they're going to stop hurricanes from hitting the U.S.?
No. What are they going to do?
Well, they're going to change them into hemicanes so they don't get past the Virgin Islands.
Okay. There's Greg FISHEL, ladies and gentlemen, with the Greg FISHEL humor, the hemicanes. All right, well, let's get down to some serious business, because the other thing that I'm noticing, and maybe I'm not a meteorologist, but as you know, I have played a weathercaster on TV for real. And one thing I'm noticing, it seems like the seasons are changing. We're getting March winds in February. We're getting April showers in March. Are you noticing that? And if so, is there something to blame?
I guess when I excuse me, whenever I look at something and I think it's unprecedented or unusual, I can usually go back through the history books and find out that it wasn't quite as unprecedented or unusual as I thought it was. Now, I can't speak specifically to anything that you may be referring to right now, but there is no question that the climate is warming. They recompute the averages of the normals, which are based on a 30-year average every 10 years, and those numbers are consistently going up at the vast majority of stations all over the globe, and the biggest warming is going on in the Arctic, which is what the most primitive weather models, climate models back in the 1980s said would happen. So there's no question in my mind anymore that human activity is contributing to that. However, I am not somebody who believes in scare tactics, like we're all going to die tomorrow, which we're not, at least I hope not. And it's one of those things where there's a professor at MIT that I highly respect, and his attitude on climate change is it all comes down to risk assessment. And he said if we could stop arguing and throwing rocks at each other and just say, how do we minimize the risk without hurting people, why couldn't we all agree on that?
Yeah, I saw a report somewhere, and I'm not exactly sure where I saw this, about why we have so much beach land that's not along the North Carolina coast and South Carolina coast as opposed to the ports that you have up in Baltimore and a little bit farther north. They have these big ports, and it had something to do with the ice that developed over the years. It gets developed, and off the coast, because of those ice plates, the water is deeper near the shorelines to the north, as opposed to here in North Carolina, where we don't have the type ice that was needed to make the shoreline a little deeper. And of course, we have hurricanes, so you have to keep rebuilding. Any insight on that?
To be honest with you, I had not heard that. So that's something that that I will look into now that you brought it up. I was not cognizant of the fact that that there were. I know there are different depths. Excuse me. I'm having my old cough here this morning. But anyways, that there are different depths of water depending on where you are. And, the storm surge with hurricanes is highly dependent on how shallow or deep the water is near the coast, what the shape of the coastline is. All those things come into play. But your specific example, I was not familiar with, so I will look into that.
Yeah, and if you look at it, we've got a lot of pristine beach along the North Carolina, South Carolina border, and then you go up to Baltimore. You don't have these major harbors where big ships can get close enough for it to be a nice port for bringing stuff in. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting, and wasn't sure if you had some insight. If you do find out, next time we get you on, maybe bring us up to date on what you discovered from a scientific point of view.
Right.
Lastly here, just we have the temperature that has really, you have that cold Canadian air is what we always blame it on. Dips down. It depends on how far down it comes. But it was the perfect setup for a storm the other week when we were talking about it. And it kind of retreated. But there's a potential for this roller coaster now. We're going to be in the 70s today, and then in a couple of weeks, we're going to get back to reality. Your thoughts here as we move into March?
Well, actually, sooner than that. I mean, by the time we get to the early part of next week, we'll be in the 40s for highs and 20s for lows. And some of the numerical models, not all of them, but some of them are trying to blow up a huge coastal snowstorm from southeast Virginia all the way up to around Boston the early part of next week. The European is basically taking it out to sea. The American model is much more aggressive with it, and it even dumps a little bit of snow over northeastern North Carolina up around Elizabeth City late Sunday into Monday. So that'll be something worth watching. But if there was like an all-out explosion, and by the way, today is the anniversary of the President's Day storm in '79. Were you here in that area for that?
I was stationed at Bragg in '78. Yes, I was here for that.
Okay, so February 18th, which would have been yesterday, the temperature in Greensboro at 1 o'clock in the afternoon was 7, and it was snowing at the rate of an inch an hour.
Wow.
And at RDU it was 12.
Wow.
And I was up at Penn State looking down at these observations saying, that can't be real. But it was. And then when the storm got up to Baltimore or Washington, the thing exploded. And I actually I was doing forecasting for a radio station in Baltimore, WCAO, and they had 12 inches in 3 hours between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. on the morning of the 19th, and ended up with 2 feet. And some of the Washington suburbs had 3 feet of snow out of that. So that was a terrific storm.
Well, the snow sticks around up north more than you think. I have a cousin in New Jersey who says, yeah, they're still, on the grassy areas, you're going to see it, and especially when you have the urban areas and the big plows come through and just dump snow on snow. I even saw a report in Baltimore where they picked out an area that the city owns, and that's where the bulldozers would put the snow into a dump truck and take it to there. So there's a mountain of snow in the middle of Baltimore, and the residents, it used to be a parking lot. Now they don't have any place to park. And so it takes snow quite a bit to melt down once you pile it on top of each other because it's dependent on the sun.
Right, and we, in fact, one of the things I'm talking about in my talk tonight is some of the major events that occurred, while I was at WRAL, and one of them was this 5-inch sleet storm that we had in February of 1987, and had that been all snow, it would have been about 20 inches, and it took that sleet forever, and I do mean forever, to disappear, and that was a very unique situation where normally. Excuse me, Gilbert.
And that's okay. All of us have this cough going on, everybody, but go ahead.
Yeah, but, normally it'll sleet for a couple of hours and then go to freezing rain or go to snow or whatever. But for it to sleet as many hours as it did, they actually had to create a new category in the record books at Raleigh because they had never had anything like that before. So I don't know. And one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I know you mentioned it off the air earlier, is there's more talk about the polar vortex going on and something unprecedented in the month of February. And the thing about this that bothers me is that not all polar vortex splits result in extreme weather. Some do, some don't. And even if they do, we don't know where it's going to be. It could be in Asia, it could be in Europe, it could be in North America. So how helpful is it to put out this scary information? Oh, the polar vortex is splitting, the terrible stuff's coming. But when and where and if, I just think it's another tactic to get attention and to monetize that attention. And there's too much of that, in my opinion, going on these days.
If you're just joining us right now, 822, my good friend Greg Fishel is opted to come in with us this morning because it's his birthday. He doesn't have anything else to do.
Happy birthday.
All righty. We got the birthday song for you. Also, I'd like to give you an opportunity once again, because for those of you who don't know Greg, he's moved from Myrtle Beach back up to Raleigh and Fuquay Arena, actually, and people can see you. How can he do that?
Well, if you go to a website called Patreon, Patreon, it's like Patreon with an E, .com/fishweather, then you can subscribe. It's $3 a month. I tried to make it as cheap as I could, and I haven't raised the price in over 3 years. I mean, it's been the same ever since I started. And so every day, Monday through Friday, I do a video. Now, the videos run about 8-9 minutes long, but I always do the forecast first. So if you don't, either have time or the interest in the extra stuff that I have on there, you don't have to sit through all that to get to the forecast. So I try to accommodate all levels of interest on this thing. And it's just as easy to cancel as it is to sign up. So if you find out you're not using it, or it's just not your cup of tea, then you can easily get out. But I'd love to have you. I tell you, during the last couple of storms, I had somebody who recommended that I go on TikTok and advertise it, and it got 2.2 million views. I was absolutely floored.
Wow.
And got quite a few new subscribers out of that had no idea that I was doing this. So I'd love to have you. and give it a shot. And like I said, if it doesn't work out or it's something you find you're not using, you can get out of it just as easy as you can getting in.
All right, well, I'm going to have to get back on TikTok here. Everybody's got their own social media way they do what they do. But in any event, we appreciate you, we appreciate what you're doing, and we're glad that we can snatch you up on occasion and bring you in, especially on your birthday. Happy birthday to you, young man.
Well, I appreciate it. And your son's birthday is today, too, right?
That's correct, and I have to take him to dinner. But that's I do, all my kids, it's birthday, they go to dinner wherever they pick, and I pay. It used to be I used to take all of the kids, but when you got 7 adult kids and 15 grands, I need 3 jobs just to go eat that night. So it's just Doris and I is going to take. We're going to take Gilbert Jr. to wherever he wants to go, and we're still debating on where that's going to be. But you enjoy yourself at your meteorological meeting for your birthday. I could think of something else I would rather do, but you're in your element, so enjoy yourself.
I got to be honest with you, Gilbert. I am so looking forward to seeing these people because this is the type of thing I have missed over the last 5 years, is being around people with a passion and a common interest. And I cannot wait to get up there tonight and see some of these folks that have been friends for years. And I just, haven't had a chance to see him in half a decade.
Well, if any of them listening to us, it's his birthday. Bring him something, something. Okay, bring him something. All right. A cake or whatever it might be. Greg Fisher, good friend. We'll get to play golf here as soon as we're getting ready to get warmed up here. So look forward to chatting with you. Since you're close enough now, we'll go to some place. We'll meet halfway or something like that and go play somewhere. All right.
And I don't play golf. I just hit a white ball with a metal stick.
And I play military golf. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Okay. Greg, you take care of yourself. Always good to talk with you, my friend.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Are you listening to News Talk 640 WFNC? We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17's Rachel Dunsing.
Thursday morning is starting out with cloudy skies, but will become partly cloudy through the end of the day with a high of 75. Overnight will be mostly cloudy with a low of 63, and Friday will be mostly cloudy with off and on rain and a high of 80. We will continue to see a blend of sunshine and clouds, but then breezy southwest winds will keep temperatures warmer than average, but we are tracking another cold front on Saturday, which will bring us rain and cooler air next week. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, right now we've got 56 degrees across the board. Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and also in Dunn. You're listening to News Talk 640. We're WFNC.
Bringing you all the news and information that matters for 4 decades.